Okay, hi guys. So this is the walkthrough for the central angles and arc measures worksheet. So number one lists a whole bunch of different arc measures that we need to find. So I'm just going to start labeling things on the diagram here. Okay, let's actually split these up into four arcs, and I'll use different colors for each. So we know that the measure of an arc is equal to the measure of the central angle. Right, so this right here, this angle right here, I could draw a straight line, AQB. Right, this angle here, we know that this arc measure is equal to the central angle, so it's going to be 40. We know that this one is 50. So that means that this arc here is also going to be 50. We see that this one here, AED, is a semicircle. So AED here, right, is going to be 180 degrees, right? It's a straight line, right? So it's a 180 degree angle, right? Angle AQD is a 180 degree angle. It's a straight line or a straight angle. So this is 180. Okay. And we also notice here that ACD is 180 degrees, right? This angle here, right, is a semicircle, or this arc, I'm sorry, this arc is a semicircle. So it's 180 degrees. So we know that these three angles, right, these three angles here are going to add up to 180. So we can do 180 minus 40 minus 50, and that's going to give us 90, right? So that tells us here that this angle is 90 degrees, which means that this arc here let me redo that one. At this angle here is 90, which means this one's also, this arc here is 90 degrees. Okay. So our central angles all add up to 360. 180 plus 40 plus 90 plus 50 is 160 degrees around the circle. 180 plus 40 plus 90 plus 50, the arcs all add up to 360. So we're good. Okay, now we can start filling in some of the information. All right, so the measure of arc AB, well, we have that, that's 40. Okay, that's a minor arc AB. Measure of arc DC. Again, remember, if it has two letters, that means it's the minor arc. And so we're going for the shortest connection between those two endpoints. So AB, right, is connected in two ways on the circle. The short way, which is the minor arc, which is the side or the arc measure that's less than 180. That's your minor. Or we could have gone all the way around, but that's the major arc, and that would have used three letters connecting A to B. Right? DC is another minor arc. That's 50 degrees. Okay, D to C, arc D to C. So the measure of that arc is 50 degrees. Measure of arc BC we found was 90 degrees. All right, we had done 180 minus 40 minus 50 because this is a straight angle. AED, so again, we're going from A to D, but through point E. That's 180 degrees. That's the green arc. Okay, BD. So here's B, there's D. So we're talking about this arc here. All right. So we're simply going to do 90 plus 50, which is going to be 140. So this arc right here, minor arc BD, is 140 degrees, 90 plus 50. So that's 140 degrees. And these should all be degrees. Degrees, 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 and degrees. Okay, measure of arc AC. So AC is this right here. So that's 40 plus 90, which is going to be 130. Right, so 40 plus 90 is 130. So the measure of this arc is 130 degrees. Okay, BAD. So here's B, there's D, but we're going through point A. So we're going around this way. Oops. Okay, you just add those together. And I think you guys get that idea from here. So 40 plus 180 is going to be 220. Okay, and you would go down and fill out the rest of these based on our circle. All right, that's number one. So 2 through 18 wants you to find the measure of the indicated arc or angle. All right, and the key to here is look for vertical angles and look for straight angles or semicircles. Right, you know that vertical angles are congruent, and then straight angles or semicircles are going to add up to 180 degrees. Right. So on number 2, we can zoom in a little bit. Oops, hit the wrong thing. Okay. So on number 2, we're looking for the measure of angle BAC. That's this angle here. Okay. But what we do notice is that we have a diameter, so we have a straight angle. Right? So these two are going to have to add up to 180. So we can do 180 minus 100. It's going to be 80. Right? So that means this angle here is going to be 80 degrees. Right? Then this one down here was 100 degrees. But together they add up to 180, which is the half circle. Okay. Very similar for number 3. Okay. All right, number 4, we're looking for angle IEJ. And again, very similar there. We know the central angles are equal. So we have, again, a semicircle here, half the circle. So you can do 180 minus 139 is going to be 41. And then you know that here's your angle. Right, this is the one we're looking for. Angle I, oops, let's highlight. We did not want that. Right, IEJ. Right, it's 41 degrees, so that means the angle is also going to be 41 degrees. Okay, IFK. All right, again, you have a semicircle here. We know semicircles add up to 180, so that's really the big thing you want to look for, a semicircle. So 180 minus 55 minus 45 is going to be 80 degrees. Right, so we know this is 80. So measure of angle IFK, that's this angle here, right? So that's all of this. Let me use a different color. All right, we're talking about IFK, this angle right here. So we're going to add 80 plus 45. So we had to first find out JK, the measure of arc JK was 80 degrees, but because we had a semicircle. So 180 minus 55 minus 45 was 80. And now for the measure of angle IFK, we need to find arc IK. So that's going to be 80 plus 45, which is 125. So this whole thing is 125, which means the angle inside is 125 as well. Central angle is equal to the measure of the arc. Okay, 6 and 7, same thing. Again, you have semicircles. You got to do 180 minus 67, 180 minus 123, and then you can find the pieces that you're missing. Okay, vertical angles, right? So 123 here, we know that this arc, this angle here, is 123. That means this angle inside is 123. Okay, and then here, that means that this angle, they're vertical, so vertical angles are congruent, so that's 123. So then this is also going to be 123. Right? You have 90 degrees. You know the three angles of a triangle, or I'm sorry, the measure around a circle is 360. So we can do 360 minus 145 minus 90. That's, let's see. That's 125, right? So we know that this one's 125. So TUS, you want all of this. That's going to be 90 plus 125. Okay. I don't think we can do it that way. Let's see. 235. Right? Yeah. It's going to be, we needed to add up to 270. No, that was right. 25 was right. I'm sorry. No, I know what I'm talking about. So then 90 plus 125 is going to be your answer. Okay. KIJ. So again, this is 180. Right. So KIJ is just going to be 180 plus 75. Right. And again, 10, 11, same sort of thing. 12, 13. Again, this one, we know they all add up to 360. Right. So we could do 360 minus 150 minus 50 minus 60 minus 50. Right, that's minus 260. That's going to leave you with 100. So we know this one has to be 100 and 100 for angle. Okay. 13. So these arcs mean that those two are congruent. Right, so if we could do 360 minus 55 minus 115, that's going to be 170. So that's going to add up to 190. Right, so we know these two angles add up to 190 and they're congruent, so we have to divide by 2. And that tells us 95 and 95. Right, and then we can find the measure of angle RPS. Would also be 95 there. Okay, very similar thing in 14. I'll leave that to you, right? These three have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 70, then you got to divide by 2, and that'll give you those two angles. All right. And again, you got 180. So again, this is going to be 45, right? Because you have 180 minus 135. Okay. This one then also has to, for the same reason, you have another semicircle, right? Here's one semicircle. Right, that adds up to 180, but then again, you have this semicircle, which also adds up to 180. And then once you have all those, you'll be able to find DC because, well, actually, you're going the other way. You're CFD. You're finding this big arc around here. So you don't even need to find DC. All right, 16, similar, 17. Again, these are all similar types of problems. So we should be good. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll do the Big Blue Button meets every evening. We'll alternate between 4 and 10, But again, you can request a meeting whenever you want. And if I'm available, we can certainly help you out there. You can also, again, take screenshots and pictures and send them to me on Remind or email them to me, and I'll help you out as much as I can. All right.